Hi and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to the 2025 season here on YouTube, to this very first video of the year. In today's video we are going to be doing a life update. I am going to be sharing what's been going on with my life since I uploaded the last video, which was about 3 weeks ago or so. And we're also going to be talking about my goals for 2024, which ones I accomplished and which ones I didn't, because yeah, I did look through them and there's a mix of both. So think of this video as a reset video about the end of 2024, the beginning of 2025, this new year that's just getting started. And I suggest that you also use this video as a chance to do that, to check on your goals, to see which ones worked, which ones didn't, and prepare yourself in the best possible way for 2025. I have my coffee here and I'm gonna be drinking this, and I suggest that if you can, you also go ahead, grab a coffee, grab a tea, mate, whatever you feel like, maybe something to eat, and we're gonna get started. But first of all, if you're new here, hi, my name is Laura. I live and work here in New York City, and on this channel I love creating videos around life in the city that I get to call home for over 6 years now. I love to show you new areas, new neighborhoods to explore, to discover, things to do if you're visiting, or maybe if you just wanna walk around New York City with me. I also talk about the behind the scenes of being a content creator, and I also talk a bit about my personal life, about the books that I love reading, about my life as a mom, and everything in between. So if you're still not subscribed, go ahead, hit the subscribe button down below, hit the notification bell so you can get notified of every time I upload a new video. And of course, you can go ahead, follow me on Instagram as Pereira, as you're going to see right here. Now I'm going to take a sip of my coffee. It's a good one. It's a good one. And we're gonna get started. So first of all, life update. If you've been following my channel or if you have been watching my videos, you know that the last one that I uploaded was the Saturday right before Christmas, and that was Vlogmas episode 3. And that's when I said goodbye, and it was the end of the 2024 season. And I anticipated that I was going to be off for about 3 weeks or so, which is the usual for me. I usually take about a week or 10 days off between Christmas and the New Year, and then since my birthday is on January 7th, I usually take some days off at the beginning of the New Year as well. But as soon as January 8, 9, 10 or so comes around, I'm back into work, back into the swing of things, and of course back to filming for YouTube. So what's been going on since December the 20th or so until right now? Today is January 14th when I'm filming this video. So drum roll please. No. There's nothing for drum roll, but I still want to share. I share a lot about my life here on this channel, and if you're watching this, I'm guessing that maybe you want to know what's been going on in New York, in my life, and all that. So the first big thing that I wanted to share, I wouldn't say it's a life update, but it's more like a city update, but I talk a lot about New York, and it's that we got snow on December the 21st. This was the Saturday that my last Vlogmas went live. It was also the beginning of winter here in the northern hemisphere, and we got snow, which was crazy for so many reasons. First of all, being on the first day of winter, that was kind of right on time. Also because we hadn't had snow here in New York in the month of December since 2019. You know, we are in the midst of global warming and how that affects the world and the weather. And here in New York City, it means that every year we usually get less and less and less snow. Not only less snow days, but also less actual snow when it does snow. So this was like a nice treat, I would say. I feel like everyone around the city was happy and cheerful, and everyone like walking around, kids playing in the snow. It was really beautiful, and at least it made me very, very happy. I love snow. I love snow days, probably because I grew up in a city where it almost never snowed. I mean, in the 20 or so years I lived there in Argentina, where I'm originally from, we had one snow day. So you can get my excitement, even though it snows in lots of places in Argentina, not where I live. So snow is very precious for me and something that I think I would never get used to just because I didn't have it as a regular thing in winter for so many years growing up. But back to December. So we had this beautiful snow day on December the 21st, and then we actually had another snow day on December the 24th. So right on cue for Christmas Eve, we got snow again, which one more time, it was something very special and very unique because New York City hadn't had a white Christmas, meaning there's snow on the ground, since 2009. So 15 years of no white Christmases, and we finally got it. And I was here to experience it all. So that was really beautiful and magical. And I was so happy. And of course, we celebrated Christmas as we do, at least in our family. We had the chance of having Tom's sister who lives abroad. She came to New York City. She actually hadn't seen snow in so many years. So she had the opportunity to be out there in the snow with us, with Julia. We celebrated Christmas together. Tom, my husband, my daughter Julia, and I, we did our usual annual Christmas photo with our pajamas. I speak of this as a tradition, which is so weird because we've only been doing it for 3 years. When Julia was first born, right before Christmas, my mom gifted us a set of pajamas, of matching pajamas, which she knew was something that I love as a tradition from people usually in the US, but that we never had as a tradition in Argentina for Christmas. So we took photos for her first Christmas in December of 2022. Actually, her pajamas were too big, so she was wearing something else. And then we did this again, 2023. We took the photos again, which I loved. I would say that with a toddler getting these annual Christmas photos, it gets more and more difficult each year. I'm hoping that next year, when she'll be 3 years old, that she'll be better at following directions, but you never know with kids. But I really love having these photos, and we also take some short videos and have this as our memories of, I don't know, the time that we spent together. And also, time really does fly. I feel like having a kid makes you realize that more and more. And even though this is like a silly tradition and not a big deal, having the opportunity to get this matching pajamas and take this photo around the Christmas tree for me is something that I really cherish and that I love having these photos and these memories. And then right after Christmas, I unfortunately fell ill. I think I had the flu. I say I think because I got tested for COVID because we have COVID tests here at home, but we don't have flu tests. But I had all the typical flu-like symptoms. I got a bit of a fever. I also got a sore throat. I had body aches. My whole body felt tired. I was in bed resting for 2 whole days, December the 26th and the 27th, which for me is super hard to do, not only because I have a toddler, but also because it is in my personality that I always want to be doing something. I always want to be either working, being productive, tidying up the house, I don't know, reading, cleaning, doing something, always on the move. And I was really forced to stop and to rest for a few days because my body was really not doing well. So the good thing is that I got past that flu or whatever I had, I would say kind of quick. I was feeling very unwell for 2 days or so, and then 2 more days off, getting a bit better. But I would say about a week after that, so by New Year's Eve, I was doing a lot better. Probably has to do with the fact that I got the flu vaccine back in October. So this is maybe your reminder to get your flu vaccine when it's flu season where you live. And if it's flu season and you still haven't got it, it's never too late. You can go ahead, get it, and maybe prevent being sick for a longer period of time. The good thing is that I'm doing better now. I'm not sick anymore. I haven't been sick for a couple of weeks now, but it's all good. And I was happy in a way that I got to New Year's Eve and the New Year feeling okay. This is super silly and border superstitious, but I wanted to feel healthy for the start of a new year. I wanted to enter 2025 my best possible self, and we got there. So that's very good news, I would say. We spent New Year's Eve here at home. Tom's sister, she left right before New Year's Eve, and we didn't really do anything. Having a toddler that usually goes to bed like around 8 p.m., I don't think there's much you can do about New Year's unless maybe you're celebrating with a big family or other toddlers. So she went to bed at like 8 p.m. or so, and we stayed up a little bit later than that. It finally got to 12. We said Happy New Year and then went straight to bed because we knew that the next day we would be waking up at 7 a.m. again with a toddler. So if you're a mom or a dad, you know how that works. But anyways, I don't want to expand more on that. And I would say that I had a pretty easy and slow start to the New Year's, which I always appreciate, not having to rush, not having to go back into work on January the 2nd. I feel like it's a privilege really to have a job or to work for yourself, whatever that might be. But being able to stay home and to take a few more days after the New Year's and after all the celebrations to just be with yourself, with your thoughts, or maybe with your family or your loved ones or your partner, and maybe be home reading a book. I feel like that is something that I definitely don't take for granted and that I didn't have in the past. And now that I have it and that I can really give myself that extra time to get back into the routine, give myself those extra days after the new year to recharge and reset, I really, really love that. So if you're wondering what I did those first few days of 2025, it was mostly watching YouTube videos all about Notion and planning and productivity and to-do lists. I always try to check my systems, check my methods, check my goals, check if everything is in the place where it should be for me to be my best version, to be my best self in the new year, to accomplish my goals. So I love reviewing my goals from the year before. I love seeing if there are some new tools that I could incorporate or some new ideas or something like that. So that's my usual plan for the first 2, 3, 4 days of the new year. And then on January 7th, it was my birthday. So January 7th, we went to Central Park, walked around the park, seeing all the snow, all that. It was very, very, very cold, so it was not a very long walk. And then we had lunch at a place that I've been wanting to have lunch for a while now, which is called Santambres. I never know how to say the name. I'm sorry about that. I've already been to that place, but I only had coffee, so this was an opportunity to taste their meals. And it's an Italian place, so you can have pasta or chicken Milanese, which we call milanesa in Argentina, which I love, which is a breaded chicken. And then we did some shopping over on Fifth Avenue because Tom wanted to get me something for my birthday, actually my previous birthday. It's a long story, doesn't matter. But it was a nice outing, and this is why I say that I'm not like crazy about my birthday. I know some people are like, okay, birthday month, and they are celebrating every single weekend, or they want to do a big gathering with 30 friends or so. And then there's also these people which are the opposite, which are like, they don't tell people when it's their birthday, they don't celebrate, they don't do anything special. I would say that I'm something in the middle, you know. I like celebrating with just Tom, or maybe Tom and Julia, Oreo, and that's it. Maybe if I'm in Argentina, I do more of a big thing just because I feel it's good to see my family, which I don't see that much. But if not, just my small family of 4, that is perfect. So this was last week, actually a week ago. And the last few days of last week, I actually had half of a root canal done. I need to go back in about a month or so. Not fun, but it's something that you need to do. We need to take care of our health. And then I got my period, also not fun, but something that happened. And I was also shooting a campaign for Instagram that you will probably be seeing sometime soon, so be on the lookout for that. Anyways, I would say that that's my life update, mostly resting, Christmas, getting sick, birthday, planning for the new year, and snow. I would say that that's mainly what's been going on and happening for the past 3 weeks or so since you last saw me. So now that we have our life update done and you know what's been going on in my life, I also wanted to review my 2024 goals and share a bit about that. I think I did a video at the beginning of last year, which was not exactly about my goals for 2024, but I touched on some of them. So this time I really wanna review each of them one by one, tell you whether or not I accomplished them, what I think about them, and I wanna do another video talking all about my 2025 goals. Let me know if you love that idea. I would love to discuss them, to share a bit about them, and maybe use that as an inspiration for you as well to plan for 2025. Small coffee break. Now let's get to the 2024 goals. I had a lot of them, but not that many. So I divided them into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 categories, which was maybe like a lot, but we'll get to that. One of them being career, which means my content creation career. Another one, new business that I'm trying to launch. Another one, health, my personal health. Another one called personal, which I'll talk about that. Another one called relationships, another one called leisure, and another one called academic. I think it's academic, right? I'm not sure. Anyways, let's start with career, which was the one that I had the most goals and probably the most ambitious ones. So first of all, I said that I wanted to get to 10,000 subscribers here on YouTube. And you know that didn't happen. I'm at around like 3,000 subscribers. I think I was at around 2,000 and I don't know, 500 when 2024 started. I'm not 100% sure. I'll probably review that on an upcoming video, but I didn't get to 10,000, which I feel like I have like lots of things to say. First of all, it's like this type of goals are super hard when you are setting up a result that you don't have like 100% control of it, which I don't think it's great for goal setting. And if I'm not mistaken, it's not something that I'm doing this year again with my 2025 goals. I need to check. But what I mean is that if you put something like get 10,000 subscribers on YouTube, or it might be get a raise or finish a career or something like that, you have some control over that. But then there's some other part that's your boss, your company, the economy, the college you go to, or something like that, where it's not 100% in your control. So I think that even though I do like ambitious goals and I do like things that make you move forward and work for more, I feel like maybe setting up another goal like publish X amount of videos on YouTube would have been better, because it was up to me and up to me recording, me editing, me posting, instead of someone else maybe watching my channel, maybe liking my videos, and maybe subscribing, and putting all like the power and the satisfaction in a way for me when getting that action from someone else, hitting that subscribe button, instead of putting a goal that's really up to me. So I think that's something that I definitely need to change for 2025, and maybe you are listening to this and that you realize it's like something that you can change as well. But yeah, goal number 1, not great. Goal number 2 was to get 12 new or relaunched products this year. I didn't specify what I meant by products when I wrote this. So when I was reading this back in December, which is not great to read it back in December, I really was unsure about what exactly I meant. I think I had to do with launching my own presets for Lightroom, but I don't know what the rest of it meant. It is safe to say that I did not accomplish this goal, which is not great. But another lesson here is to really be specific on your goals, to really make them clear and that you are able to understand what exactly you want to accomplish, not only the day you write them down, but even if you're reviewing them a month from now and 2 months from now or 3 months from now, because I feel like we can all learn from my mistakes here. The third goal that I wrote down was to partner with a kids brand, a high-end brand, a cruise hotel or airline. I think I wrote and, like I wanted all of them. I would think that's a goal that I got to accomplish last year. We had the chance to travel to the Dominican Republic and to stay at a hotel that we had actually booked and paid for ourselves, but we got upgraded and we got some extra perks through my job and through me reaching out to the hotel. So even though it was like a not like 100% partnership and something that came from the hotel, I did reach out and they did like my profile and the content I put out there, and we got to do something together. So it's a gray area, but I would say that it's a goal that I accomplished and something that I really want to work more on for this year as well. I also wrote more New York Fashion Week shows, and this, I would say that I don't know if I had like more shows in the sense of quantity, but I did get some new shows that I had never been to. And I also feel like this last season of New York Fashion Week in September was one where I felt like happy again with the shows that I was going to, with how I felt wearing clothes and stuff. And I spoke a bit about this on one of my previous videos. If you want to go ahead and watch it, I'll link down below. But I don't know, again, it's like a very like gray goal, but I would say that we did work on that. I set up a goal of a certain amount of money that I wanted to make this year, which I didn't accomplish, which is not great. Definitely when you set up a numeric goal of a certain amount of money that you want to make, especially if you work for yourself, it is good to reach that goal. It means that maybe you're earning more than last year, maybe you are pricing yourself better in accordance to the type of job that you do, the type of content you create. So not great, but also not trying to be super mad about this, but try to put my energy into making this work for the next year. I also wrote down that I wanted to get my first YouTube partnership, which didn't happen either. I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon, if I have to be honest. I don't think I have it in my 2025 goals. I do love YouTube and I love my YouTube channel and I love the content that I put out there last year, but I'm also smart enough to know that I don't have a large audience and not a lot of people watching my videos to be able to secure a partnership here on YouTube, at least on YouTube alone. So I don't know, I think like it's something that I need to still work on, and I would love to see my channel grow this year, but we'll see how that goes. I also set out a number of paid partnerships that I wanted to have with brands, which is also something that I didn't accomplish, and again, I have like mixed feelings about this. I think that I did work with a lot of brands on gifting opportunities, which sometimes can be helpful in so many ways, especially when you have a kid or when you're looking for activities in the city or things like that. So I'm not being too hard on myself about this, but I would ideally get to have more paid partnerships for 2025. I think we're like on the right track at the beginning of the year, but still I would love to work more on this. This year I have strategy put in place. If I do this video about my 2025 goals, I definitely will talk about that. Then about my new business, I wanted to launch a podcast and I wanted to launch a new business with certain products, which didn't happen, which is, I wouldn't say unfortunate, but I think I was very ambitious when I set up to do this in just 1 year. But the good thing that I did, that it was not a goal, but it did happen, is that I managed to register the name of my brand as a trademark on the US registry for patents and trademarks. So I have an official trademark now, which sounds so official and crazy and grown up. And I'm so happy. It's something that I started back in January of last year. And it usually takes about 10 months to a year to finally get a response. I had to fix some things. I was able to do that. And then I finally got the official notice that my trademark was approved in January of this year for my birthday, for January 7. It was like a little gift from this organism that works in trademarks and patents. So I have the trademark, and now I have 6 months since that date to actually prove that I'm using the trademark in business. So it's a good push for 2025 to have this pressure that I need to prove that I'm using my trademark in order to make my trademark active. So I didn't accomplish this, but I think that registering the domain and setting up the Instagram account and TikTok account and doing the trademark process were like the first steps in the right direction in order to launch this new business. So it will take time. There's 2 specific goals that I set for 2024. I did not accomplish them, but I'm happy with what I did and what I did accomplish last year. So in terms of health, and now we're trying to get on a better now, because I think I've been saying I didn't accomplish this. I think the last few things on my list, they were better. So in terms of health, I wrote to get in better shape and to lose 12 kilos. I didn't share exactly how much weight I wanted to lose in a year when I share my goals at the beginning of last year, because I know this can be triggering for a lot of people, and I didn't want my channel or my content to feel like that for anyone watching. I did manage to lose 12 kilos last year, which is 25 pounds or so, I think. Let me double check that. Yeah, like 26.5 pounds, which I think sounds like a lot, and it was probably a lot. I was not trying to lose weight because of like baby weight or that. I got back to my pre-pregnancy weight, I would say pretty fast, but I wanted to feel better with my body, with my clothes. Being someone that's constantly creating content like videos and photos, you look at yourself so much, probably way too much, and it's very easy to like pick yourself apart, to compare yourself to other people, to compare yourself to previous versions of yourself, because in my case, I've been posting online content for almost 15 years now. So we obviously age, and obviously our bodies change, their shape, their weight, and so many things. And I want to really point out that I did this for myself. It was something that I wanted to do. There was no doctors pressuring me, certainly not my husband, of course, and thank you. No pressure from the outside world in any way or form. It was just me and wanting to feel better, wanting to feel more light when I was running, when I was picking Julia up, when I was going up and down the stairs for the subway. I wanted to feel better in the clothes that I had and that were not fitting me properly. I've donated a lot, so it's not that I could like not get like new clothes, but still there were like things that I knew I wanted to wear and that I liked. And I saw photos of myself from many years ago, and I knew that I felt better with myself losing that weight. So it was something that I did 100% for myself. I am still at a healthy weight for my height, for my age, for my everything. So this is something that I accomplished and that I'm happy that I did. And talking about this and all the previous goals that I mentioned that I didn't accomplish, I do want to say that I'm talking about these lessons from my goals that we can all apply to our lives. This is a goal that I set out for myself, that I worked on since January 1st, and I worked on every single day with healthy eating, with working out, with doing more for my body and the food that I was getting. So I think it goes to show something pretty obvious, of course, but it's like every single day you can be working towards a goal and towards getting better or getting something new or different, whether that might be launching a new business or growing your YouTube channel or losing weight or wherever that might be. I feel like what this goal that I did accomplish out of all this that I didn't shows is that if you put in the work, you can get those results. So good. Another goal that we did accomplish. So another goal that I put up here was to run a 10K by the end of the year. This is one that I did not accomplish, sadly. I wanted to get to run 10K. At some point during this year, I was running quite a lot. I would say I did the Couch to 5K program where you start basically running for a minute or so, and then you end up running 30 minutes. And I was getting good at it, getting a good pace. And I feel like I do really well when I have some guidance, when I have someone in my ear on an app saying, now run, now walk, now do this, now do that. And when I finished that program, I felt so lost. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how many days a week should I go for a run? How much should I run? Should I do this or that? And I really fell off the wagon there and stopped running when I finished the program, which is kind of sad, not gonna lie. But I have like two good news on this. First of all, that I want to go back into this and I want to go back into running. Like what running did for my physical and my mental health this past year, it's amazing. We probably heard this, that exercise is really good for your body and for your mind, but it's really true. Going out for runs really work wonders for my headspace. I was listening to podcasts, to music. I felt strong. I felt good. It was really a great time to just be with myself, with my thoughts in the best possible way. And it also helped with me getting a better shape. So I love running and I really want to go back to that. And I found out on the app that I use for running, for the Coach to 5K, that once you get to that, you can do then the 5 to 10K 5K. So that's what I'm going to do. Once that I finish the couch to 5K, I'm gonna do the 5 to 10K, and I have as a goal for 2025 again to run a 10K by the end of the year. It's on the list again, and I hope that this is the year that I finally do it. I have never run a 10K in my life. The most I did was an 8K, and this was 10 years ago, and I walked 1 kilometer, so I don't know if it counts, but I really want to do this. And again, it was not a goal that I accomplished, but I did manage to stay active for most of 2024. I did manage to run quite a lot, and probably the most that I've run since 2020 when I first picked up running. So did not accomplish the goal, but also not that bad. Another goal that I had was to stay as healthy as possible and to do checkups. This is something that I did accomplish. I put it in my list just because I wanted it to be there, and I don't want to take my health for granted. There's a whole lot of things going on in my personal life in the background that I haven't shared that are related to this, but I feel like it's never a bad moment to remind myself and to remind you watching to take care of your health, of the health of your loved ones, to do your checkups, to go to the doctor if you're not feeling well. If you feel like something's not right, then go see a doctor. Do all the tests that you need, studies, imaging, whatever that might be, to get to the bottom of it. I did go to my usual checkups like my OBGYN, my endocrinologist, because I do have some things that I need a checkup with an endocrinologist, which I know is not the usual. To my eye doctor, primary care doctor. I went to the dentist, really did all the health checkups, and I am happy I did that. I'm happy that I'm taking care of my health and setting like a good example for my daughter in the future, and really putting yourself first in a way when taking care of your inside and outside. So it was a goal that I accomplished and that I'm happy I did. Getting to the end here, because I know it's a long video and the sun is setting. I wrote down that I want to spend quality time with Julia and quality time with Tom, with my husband. Those were like two separate goals, and I would say that I accomplished these two goals. They were not very specific. Quality time is very broad, but I did have mommy-daughter dates with Julia where it was just the two of us doing something, and I really liked that. There were not that many. I plan to do more this year now that she can walk and that she understands a lot more about everything. And we also did some with Tom as well, having lunch or brunch, just the two of us. I feel like I did take the time to spend time with probably the two most important people in my life right now, and I'm happy that I did that. As I said earlier in this video, time really does fly by, and spending time with the people you love is a great way to spend your time. I've seen this quote somewhere a few days ago, which is like, you can get like money back and things back, something like that, but the only thing that you can't get back is time. Time, once it's gone, it's gone. You cannot get that back. So really try to make the time to spend quality time with your loved ones. And speaking of that, I also wrote about nurturing friendships with friends in New York City. That was one goal under the relationship theme, and nurture relationships with friends and family abroad. So friends in New York City and family and friends abroad. So in New York City, I would say that this was a goal that I accomplished. I had a hard time at the beginning of the year. I feel like I was not really connecting with the people that I know, or maybe that I was texting people and saying, hey, let's go out for dinner, let's go out for coffee, let's chat, and radio silence. No one was responding to my messages, which was not great. But then around, I think this was March, April of last year, I found this book club where I knew two people that were part of the book club from content creation, and I texted them. I asked if I could join. They said yes. And I found this group of women which are around my age. I would say most of them are younger, but some of them have similar jobs. Some of them have families, you know, they're married, they have furry kids, dogs, maybe they're planning on buying a house. You know, like, I feel like we are all kind of like in the same stage of life in a way. And it was great getting to go to these monthly meetings for book club and getting to chat about our lives, our relationships, our jobs, the books that we read. And I don't know, I feel like even though it's a book club and it's not that they are friends that I've had for many years or something like that, I still think that I did a good job. I mean, it was like not 100% my doing, but I really put myself out there to try to make these connections and go to this book club, and I'm really happy that I did that. Speaking of which, in just an hour and a half, we have our monthly book club meeting for the month of January. So when I'm done with this video, I need to tidy up and then get ready. But yeah, I'm happy that I found this book club and that I'm part of it. If you watch one of my videos of last year, I shared that I really want to be part of a book club for a while. I love reading books, and I texted so many people saying, hi, can I be part of a book club? Can I join your book club? And people were either ignoring me or saying, yes, sure, and then ghosting me. So I'm really glad that I found this group of women and that I get to see them every month and that I get to have these relationships here in New York City. And then speaking of friends and family back in Argentina, I would say the friends part is something for another time because I didn't manage to see most of them in my last trip. But in terms of my family, I'm so happy that we went to Argentina in July for my grandpa's 90th birthday. It's not every day that you get to turn 90 years old, and I feel like it was so wonderful to be together with my parents, with my grandparents, with my aunts, uncles, cousins, partners, with my little cousins, with my sister, with Tom, with Julia. Everyone is, of course, super happy to see Julia, and I'm super happy that she can meet all this big family that she has in Argentina, and I'm so glad we were there. It was a short trip. We were there for 2 weeks or so, but still we managed to see all the people that we wanted to see and all the people that also wanted to see us, that made the time in their busy lives or busy routines to actually see us for an hour, 2 or 3, and have a meal or have coffee. And I feel like they appreciate us spending the money and the time and flying all the way back to Argentina, which is like a 12-hour flight, and with a toddler. Of course, I understand that most people want to see Julia, but I also know that we all have work, we all have jobs, or we have school, or we have other friends and partners and other relationships. And all these people that we managed to see are people that really took an hour to a day, multiple days out of their lives to see us and to spend time with us. And I really, really appreciate that. So I feel like this is a goal that I accomplished. There was a part that was up to me and also up to some other people, and I would say that we made it happen. And the last 2 goals that I have here before the sun fully sets were to travel more. That was under leisure, and I would say that we did travel more. Again, this was not a very specific goal, which is not ideal, but we did manage to go to Argentina, as I said before. But mainly I would say that the 2 trips that we made that I really, really enjoyed were the one to the Dominican Republic that I mentioned earlier. It was like our first proper vacation as a family of 3 with Julia. We were there for 4 days or so. We had such a wonderful time. I definitely want to go back this year. I want to go back to the same hotel, spend the same amount of days or so. We loved our time there, and I feel like I definitely want to be back. The hotel is Hyatt Ziva Cap Cana in Punta Cana in the Dominican Republic, in case you're interested. And then we also went to London at the end of September, beginning of October. This was again 3-4 days, but I love London as a city in general. I hadn't been there in so many years, and my sister now lives in London, so we had a chance to visit her, to see her apartment, to be with my mom and my aunt who were there as well, and to have Julia explore some of London, which I probably she won't remember. But it was a really nice trip. We went to a museum that I always wanted to go to, which is great for kids. We went on a double-decker bus, saw the London Eye, you know, the Big Ben, and some of the touristy things, also lots of playgrounds. So those were 2 great trips alongside our trip to Argentina as well. And last one, we got to the end here. So many goals. Last one was under academic. I'm not sure how you pronounce that, and I'm not gonna Google that right now. It was to get better at German. Again, not a specific goal, not great. We'll talk more about that in this maybe upcoming video about my 2025 goals if you want to watch that, because I got a lot more specific this year, which was good. So I wanted to get better at German, and I think that I did. I am now at a 425 days streak on Duolingo, which is wonderful news. Last year, I passed the 1-year mark. Of course, I had my days where I didn't practice and I used my strike freeze. That's what Duolingo calls giving you a pass for you not to practice a day or two. And I had some of those days, but for most of 2024, I practiced almost every single day or almost every single week. And I got better at German. German is, in my opinion, not a very easy language, and it's something that you really need to invest time into learning new words, learning verbs, learning how to use articles and stuff. And I think that I put in the work and I got better, and that is good news. So I would say that this is another accomplished goal. So I had in total 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 19 goals. Yeah, 19 goals. And out of the 19 goals, I accomplished 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9-ish, 10-ish. I would say like around 10-ish, which is like 50%. And overall, I would say that I'm happy. I think I said some of this when I posted my last post of 2024 on Instagram, but I feel like 2024 was a transformative year. There were lots of changes in my mental health, in my physical health, in how we work as a family, in my job, in my day-to-day life here in New York City. We switched apartments actually. I was not in this apartment when the year first started. So lots of things happened and I'm overall a lot more happy and content, and I feel accomplished in general for what I did in 2024. Of course, I had days where I was frustrated, where I was sad, where I was stressed, where I was like not feeling my best. But in general, I would say that not only completing 10 out of my 19 goals for 2024 is good news, but how you feel at the end of the year. And I feel like sometimes you do things that were not on the list and they help you feel better. And I feel like maybe that's what happened with me, or maybe the things that you actually did made a huge impact and you don't think that much about the things that you didn't accomplish. So that's it for my 2024 goals. That's it for my life update. That's it for this very long video. It's gonna be a very long video. I did heat up the coffee some way mid-shooting, but now it's cold again. I need to heat it up and drink the rest of it. But this is going to be the end of today's video. I really hope you liked it. I know it was a long one, but I do love watching these videos. I do love hearing about other people's goals and if they did accomplish, if they didn't, and the lessons that they learned from them. I feel like we can all learn from other people's goals and intentions and know how to better ourselves if we want that, how to be a better parent, how to be better at our jobs, how to get in a better shape, how to be a better person, a better friend. And I do love watching these videos about goal setting, about accomplishments, about failures, and about learning and growing. So I really hope you liked this video. If you got to the end of it, thank you so much for watching. If you're still not subscribed, of course, this is a great time to do so. Go ahead, hit the subscribe button down below, hit the notification bell so you can get notified of every time I upload a new video. And I would love to know if you would love to see another video talking about my goals for 2025, because I wrote like 20 or 25 of them and I would love to talk about it with all of you, with this online community that we have over here. Let me know if you would like to see that video at some point during the month of January or February, sometime around this first few months of the year. And I would love to know what your 2024 goals were, if you want to share some of them, if you want to leave them down below in the comments. I know that maybe you have 20 or so of them like me, and maybe you don't want to share all of them, but I would love to know at least some of them. If you want to share them down below in the comments, let me know what was on your list, what you accomplished, or what was on your list and that you didn't accomplish, and how you're feeling about it. If you had similar goals to mine and how those went, let me know down below in the comments. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you so much if you're watching until the end, and I will see you on the next one. Bye!